Hello everyone. Hi, my name is Ade. So, the book review, or should I say, the signing of the book, How to Speak Punjabi in Brampton by Mr. ONYEKA NWELUE.
I know you are in. I know you're in Nigeria. Yeah, and you're dressed. I'm just wondering, why are you dressed like
It's
this?
because I love the Punjabi culture
You do?
a lot. So I was 18 when I went to India, and the first place that I landed was in Punjab, a place called Chandigarh. Yeah, and I was 18. So I lived in the Sikh temple for like 3 days.
Do you know you even look like them?
That makes me happy.
Yeah, your face, the way you're looking, sometimes you look very chubby, and their hair. So did you marry an Indian woman, a Punjabi woman?
Good questions. Very nice.
Not like if they pay me to marry one, I go marry her.
Why would somebody pay you to marry a woman?
Oh, they pay the Indian woman in Hindu culture pays the dowry.
Okay, dowry,
Yes, that's
right?
true. That's true. That's true.
So if they give me 20 lakh, I'll collect.
What is the equivalent of
That's
this?
like, I think, 10 million or so.
What would that do for you? Dollars?
Just to
Dollars?
rupee.
Why is that in our own money now? How do we use it here? If you
We
convert
can
it-
use that.
if you
Rupee.
convert- if you
Big
convert
pass naira.
okay.
At least use it, buy books and.
To buy books.
Okay, nice.
Anyway, welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope you buy 10 copies of the book and share
Okay.
to your friends and enemies.
And enemies. Nice. Yes.
And welcome to my presentation of how to speak Punjabi in Brampton. Little introduction. I was 18 years old when I first went to India, and I landed in Mumbai. Then I took another flight to Delhi, and then we took a bus to Chandigarh, which is a Punjabi state in India, Punjabi city. And Chandigarh has a long history with Nigeria. In the 70s, Nigerians went to study in India because we believed that Indians were better teachers. So many people went on scholarship there. Some didn't return, some went home. And there is a great community of Africans who went to India with the Portuguese 700 years ago. They're called the cities of India, then Gujarat, Karnataka, and the rest of India. Fortunately, they haven't been officially recognized by the BJP party. And we hope that they recognize them, because I've also written a book on them. It's called The Fifth Night at Pipi Palace. But then I've always been interested in immigration or migration. I've read a lot about the Sikhs of Canada, and this is not me patronizing Sikhs, but I think personally that Sikhs are the most educated set of Indians anywhere in the world. That every state has a literature festival, a film festival. You find Indian writers who write full time and they don't have any other job they're doing because of the population of India. The way they buy books, how supportive they are of creatives. Another thing is that if you can speak one Indian language, either Malayalam, Hindi, Gujarati, Marathi, or anything, Indians love you. I'm generalizing, but that's a larger population. of the experiences that I have had within it. So I'm grateful that you have all gathered here today to honor me and my book, and I'm hoping to also take your money and go home. Thank you very much.
Okay. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I hope everybody's doing fine today. I hope we all didn't have too much troubles finding the location, because I know how downtown can be. And good evening to you, author.
Thank you so much.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kitty Kuti. I am a Nollywood actor, film producer, content creator, and all-round media practitioner. A few that are from Nigeria might have seen me in the film King of Boys or NWELUE, both on Netflix. I'm intensely passionate about storytelling in whatever guise it comes, be it on screen, film, or even in books, which is why I feel very honored to be here today to moderate this session. First, I want to congratulate you on yet another outing, because it seems I don't even know where you find the time to write so many books in 1 year. And they're not small books; they're always very voluminous books. And you're just one man with one brain, but somehow you're able to turn out great work that hits national acclaim and international acclaim with the power of your narrative, some of which are fictional, others biography and autobiography. So congratulations on yet another one.
Thank you.
And I look forward to having an interesting session with you today. I will be asking you some very, very exciting questions. Because personally, I haven't finished, but I've read the book. Very interested in it. It's a very unique story. So beautiful that when I heard there's going to be a film adaptation of it, I was excited, because this is not the kind of book you just leave to the reading pleasure. It's something that needs to be put visually. And I'm also happy to hear that you are bringing that initiative here to Canada. So, was I supposed to say that? Well, anyways, I've said it all the same. So, my first question to you, Professor Dr. ONYEKA. Oh yes, I will punch on it, we'll get there. My first question to you would be to just give us a general overview of the project itself, of the book, without saying too much, just the body line of the story for those who haven't read it, just to inspire their curiosity.
Okay. The story is set here in Canada, and then there are flashbacks to Russia, India, and there is a story that everybody knows about, the Sikhs who were coming to Canada on a Japanese ship from Hong Kong many years ago, and they were sent back to Calcutta, where some of them were shot. So it goes back as well to the Sikh riots in 1984 in India, which happened after Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister of India was shot by one of her Sikh bodyguards. So it's the story of the Punjabi experience and the story of a Punjabi family, a Punjabi lecturer in Canada who is expecting his aged parents and his arranged bride who were coming to stay with him. And they got lost and he had to look for them for like 2 days before he found them. But it's a comedy. So it's my way of telling people I'm also a happy person, because everybody thinks I'm always angry. I've written 36 books, so I have too many titles that I've used. But if you check closely, I pay tributes to cities. My first book, Abyssinian Boys, set in Delhi and Lagos. So it was my ode to Delhi. And I make cities characters in books. So I thought, okay, everyone talks about Brampton. Why not write a tribute to Brampton? So I could have used another title, but I thought how to speak Punjabi in Brampton is quite, it creates some sort of curiosity. And that is why the book is also covered properly. So if you open it, you buy it. Yeah, so it's also a marketing strategy. And most people think it's a guidebook or motivational work, or maybe a book of social studies, which is why on the cover you have a novel written book, so you know it's a novel. But I love paying tributes to cities.
Okay, I think you picked the right city because by demography, there's about, of all the other regions and municipalities in Canada, I think Brampton has the largest population of Indian immigrants. They're not growing by 800,000, so that's a lot of money waiting for you. Well, my next question will be starting from the main one. Balmidas, is that business? Okay, just trying to make sure I pronounce it correctly. Can you tell us a little bit more about the development of this character, like the fiction behind it, pretty much, because that's what's going to excite the readers.
I don't know, but every time I create an Indian character, it feels like something new. And also, you meet all kinds of Indians. I was having a conversation with the driver, I think yesterday, and we were talking about an Indian politician called Dr. Shashi Tharoor. And the driver was saying that Dr. Shashi Tharoor does not speak the common man's language. That's why he has not been able to become the Prime Minister of India. And that the current Prime Minister speaks to the common man in Hindi. And Dr. Shashi speaks big English. Yeah, so you find all kinds of Indians everywhere you go. Just same you can find all kinds of Nigerians. So I said, okay, how do I create this character? And why couldn't he go to the airport to pick his parents? What could be the problem? So I said, okay, maybe a teacher, a lecturer would be fine. And I have fascination with the academia. I have a strong obsession with the academia. This is a personal story. I've always wanted to, I told a friend of mine who was studying for his PhD once when I was in Johannesburg, that one day I will end up in Oxford and Cambridge simultaneously. And he said, how can you do that without a degree? And I said, watch out. So I have a strong obsession with the academia, so I ended up there. In every book I've written, you find some of the characters from the upper class or from the academia, right? So I said, okay, Parmila could be a lecturer, he probably has a test to mark or a lecture to give, and that's why he can't go to the airport, so he's going to send someone. So unfortunately, he sent a drunk to go pick his parents. So even no matter how educated or no matter how rich you are, you still need help. You need a cleaner, you need a gate man, you need all those chauffeur, you need people around you. So he made the mistake of sending someone who doesn't listen, and then because he's busy in school. So developing him as a lecturer, as a professor, was not difficult because I'm always in the vicinity of academia.
Hello, my name is Ikenna Oke, and I'm here to support ONYEKA and NWELUE. I attended the book launch for How to Speak Punjabi in Brampton. And knowing ONYEKA himself, like knowing him personally, I think my expectation was met. He's very much a writer as he is an entertainer, so to say. And yes, this is a book I look forward to reading, and I've read almost all of his books. And I know exactly what to expect, that, what he does with culture, what he does with his opinion on life, and everything that has to do with understanding the human condition. So yes, I enjoyed the book launch and it was worth it.
Are you trying to tell a story there? Is there something that cuts across reality from that perspective, and you just use fictional characters, or is there another reason why you tied the main character, Baminda, to that incident?
Baminda was born in 1984. So he was born during the Sikh riot. So it sort of connects him to what India has experienced. The riot was really, it was a very bloody one. All over India, the Sikhs were being attacked. It's not a story that I have authority over to tell. But somehow I consider myself an Indian, probably in my past life. So I thought a build-up, development of a character in a book would need some of these things. And I said, okay, he was born in 1984. Is he traumatized? Because there is what they call intergenerational trauma. Could he have been traumatized by what happened to him as a kid, going through the world, hearing stories of what happened in 1984? And I've done it in a way that I don't offend anyone, I think, which is making fun of remembrances, the past. So Baminda represents the young generation, but those who were born when there was chaos in Delhi and all the rest of India. So if you have a copy of the book, it's out here for sale. You can just join me on page 146. Page 146. If you are ready, we'll go. It's chapter 10. Maybe I'll just talk a little bit before I read of what you asked me. So I was talking about it earlier, but I don't think you probably grabbed it. So the British Indian or British Indians were coming to Canada, British Columbia, and they were sent back. They were on a Japanese ship from Hong Kong. I think they were about 440 something. And 78 or so were killed when they landed in Calcutta. So it's a story that sets Indians off about Canada and how dangerous it was for them. This also happened during the Biafra War. Canada was supposed to come and lift some Biafran kids, and they didn't. I've treated that in my film that is showing on the 12th. In case you would like to come and see my film, is showing on TIFF on 12th. That's Thursday by 11:30. I will get you in. You don't need the pass to come see it. It's also shot in Nigeria in the 50s and in Canada in this era. So we have Canadian actors in the film as well. So it connects to the story of how Canada has treated people all over the world. In the book about the Sikhs who were killed and the Biafrans who were abandoned by Canada, even though they were given money to come and live them. So the next morning, Baminda awoke with a throbbing headache. He had barely slept, his mind racing with thoughts of his missing parents, Kuldeep and Jagdeep. He desperately hoped they were safe wherever they might be. Dragging himself out of bed, he made his way to the kitchen and prepared a cup of strong tea, hoping it would help clear his head. He had just lifted the cup to his lips when the doorbell rang. Heart pounded with anticipation. He rushed to the door, half expecting to see visitors with good news. Instead, standing on his doorstep was Jacqueline's wife, Priya. Her expression was calm, almost indifferent, as if she was there for a casual visit rather than to discuss a missing person.
What is the emphasis on the Sikhism culture, which the Sikhs hold very seriously and somewhat sacred? So, was there any background research that you had to do to ensure that you represented their culture respectfully without necessarily crossing any lines? That's the first question.
I was young. I was very young when I was exposed to Sikhs. My father, as I was telling them, I was in the Gurudwara. Gurudwara is a Sikh temple in Haridwar in India. Then I also went to another one in Haryana. I spent time also in Panta Sahib. These are places where you have Sikh temples. In Sikh temples, you have to cover your head to go in there. And we ate with bare hands, with other groups of people, every day, free food. The accommodation was also free. We had probably a room for 2 people or 3, with beds on hard cement or something like that. I was 18, and I was coming from a religious background. I was in seminary for 6 years, and headed to India to a Sikh temple where we were doing a literature festival, but we were supposed to live there for 3 days. And I started asking questions about the religion itself, and I found, I think being the Prime Minister of India, Manmohan Singh, yes, he's Sikh. And he was hailed as the best economist in India and very bright. So I sort of generalized that every Sikh is brilliant. It's so funny. When I was invited to Ohio University as a research fellow, the person who invited me is Professor Ambridge Singh. He's also Sikh. And I kept asking questions because every day he comes out, he's wearing a turban. So the questions I kept asking, and the book is also dedicated to him and the Canadian High Commissioner to Nigeria, James Christoph, a very good friend of mine. So I've been interested in the Sikh religion. I read up a lot about Guru Nanak, who happens to be the founder of Sikhism. So it's a religion, it's not a culture, it's a religion. I love how it's structured, I love how welcoming Sikhs are. Today, the man who tied my turban had to explain a lot of things to me about the 2 sides of Sikhism and which one did I want to dress as. So I chose the other one, which is not his. And he was also happy to tie it. And then the dhoti that I'm wearing is South Indian. He was also able to check how it's done. India is the most interesting country in the world, my favorite. My favorite country in the world is India. It's complex in everything, tradition, religion, about 9 religions. And in Hinduism alone, you have about 1 million gods and goddesses. You can worship whichever you want. In fact, inside Nam, I'm beholding Saraswati, the goddess of wealth. It's like, God, you did everything so that I don't become broke. So it's a very interesting country, and you could be anything you want in India. I think those are the parts that people have not been able to know about India. They are like, oh, but Indians are all over the world. Yes, they're all over the world because the British were also all over the world.
Hi, I'm Peter Wolfel, and it was a real pleasure to be here at the book meeting. I thought it was a great interview, and the speaker, the writer, is fantastic. The book sounds like a great read. I haven't read it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. I think it's important to have people coming together from different cultures in a great city like Brampton. So I'm looking.
Hello, my name is Morris Imadu, and I'm happy that I'm part of the witness for what just happened this evening right here. And that is for the not only launch, but allowing us have the opportunity to buy the book that is How to Speak Punjabi in Brampton by ONYEKA. You know, people will always ask you that, okay, what was the shocking moment for you? What is it for you? For me this evening, I must tell you that it's the fact that How to Speak Punjabi in Brampton was written by a Nigerian, ONYEKA. Ladies and gentlemen, trust me, it was an exciting evening, and this is a must have. And you know the good thing, I work with the mayor of Brampton, Patrick Brown, as his community engagement specialist in Brampton. And now I am seeing How to Speak Punjabi in Brampton. Trust me. The next time you see me, I'll not be talking to you in English. I'll be speaking Punjabi and I'll be shaking my head. See you.
Yeah, well, I mean, people can ask questions about the book and not about the book, maybe about my life, about what I've been through, and why I'm writing creative comedy out of tragedy. So, I mean, how is kidnapping funny? So, that's it.
Okay, we'll come to that, and I'm sure a few people have some interesting questions. Just a few more things to touch on. You in the book, this is possibly something you all will find interesting too. There was a lot of references on arranged marriages. So I just want you to touch on that, elaborate a little bit. Are you headed somewhere with that discussion, or is this something you want to draw attention to, or is it just for the purpose of the story?
I don't have I have a strong opinion on marriage, but I find arranged marriage quite interesting in the way that you're not allowed to talk to strangers in India, but you're allowed to marry strangers. So, and Baminda has only met this bride of his through Skype, but the parents, they are bringing her over now. I think it's entertaining. I think it will create some sort of anxiety as well for any man. How am I going to receive my wife that I've never met? So, nothing serious. I just wanted to add something that is quite common in India in the story to make sure it's Indian enough. So, nothing serious. It's not that it's not a serious issue in India. Anyway, it's not at all. It's normal. Arranged marriage, it's normal. So, nothing serious.
I would say that for a writer, you're possibly one of the most interesting characters in that space at the moment. And what you're doing definitely will define the perspective of people towards writers, especially in an age where the social attention is gravitating more towards shorter spans, like videos, YouTube. We have so much technology now that seems to be gravitating. So both those of you that have kept it original also have to refine yourselves, and that is what you're doing. With your outlook, easily. I remember going out with you on Monday, and you were the subject of attention for everybody. They have never seen anything like you. They wanted to know who you were or what you did. Like, is this some king? So yeah, so it's complementary. You're putting some excitement into the art, because I don't think writing is a profession, it's an art. It's something in it, it's artistic. Anyways, I'll ask my last question. Can you help me please? My last question is the second question that my friend who also read part of the film told me, and I decided to note it down because there's only so much that can stay in this head. Alright. So she asked, in an era characterized by frequent discussions surrounding cultural appropriation, how does one effectively navigate the intricate process of writing about a community and culture that diverges from one's own? So before you answer this question, she's also a writer. She's a writer for film. So that explains the plenty of grammar that
Yeah,
I was getting
because
used to.
it's just over and over my head.
So I'll go again.
Repeat
Because
it.
it's
Okay, I get it.
yeah. Do I need to?
No, I get it.
I might even explain wrong.
Yeah, I get it. No, I get
Anyway,
it.
go for it.
Okay, so yeah, I understand what they are asking. But I've also talked about it before. I love writing about other cultures because I travel a lot. I have done at least 80 countries, and I try to learn languages. And what the question they are asking is if I'm appropriating Indian cultures, but no, I don't think so. I think I'm just. I learn deeply about places I want to write about before I write about them. So it's difficult for you to, if you remove my name from here, right? If you remove my name and give this book to a literary agent or a publisher, they will think it was written by an Indian. So as I incorporated every kind of person in the book. There is a Nigerian police officer, right? There is a Chinese police officer, and then there is a Canadian chief boss in the station, right? So you have, I'm not going to say I'm appropriating cultures or anything, but I'm writing about the world, how it is right now. I'm wearing Indian kuta from the north. I'm wearing dhoti from the south. I'm only just trying to feel it, so I'm not appropriating anything. Everybody is allowed to write what they want. I mean, if you read books by Joseph Conrad, he was writing a travel log, and he was going around the world creating characters. And we have forgiven him even for what he wrote about the Congolese, the pygmies in Congo. So there are also other writers. In fact, what I find quite fascinating is that I am the only African writing about Indians. I've been doing that since I was 18, and each book I write about Indians creates another book on Indians, and sort of energizes me to write more about Indians. So I think for me, I'm not making mockery of any traditional culture or people, but I'm writing about experiences I've read in newspapers. In fact, this is interesting. I wrote the Nigerian Mafia in Mumbai, a story of a Nollywood actor who arrives in Mumbai to join Bollywood and gets caught up in drug peddling and human trafficking. It's been optioned for film by Ramesh Rapati, a filmmaker from Hyderabad. And this is a series, part of a series of books I'm writing set in different countries, of 10 countries. So it's also me getting interested in what Sao Paulo looks like in the underworld, what Johannesburg looks like in the underworld. So my aspiration is to write about other people.
So Brampton, you just walked in as we thank you for coming. Thank you for representing your mayor. All right. So
did the mayor send any message? Like, I don't know.
the mayor will send dollars, not naira. Anyway, so we'll take 4 quick questions from anybody that is interested in asking any questions. That's from you. All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I've read like 5 of your books, and I look forward to reading this one.
Oh.
Thank you. So my question is, thank you. So my question is, a lot of your movies get adapted into film and all of that. So I'm assuming that this one is getting adapted from what I've heard. Congratulations on that. So it comes back to the cultural appropriation question that he asked. So when you're doing the adaptation, is it done from the perspective of an African living in India, or is it done from the perspective of Indians?
Wonderful question.
Good thing is that we've not started this scripting.
Okay.
So we might need the conference to decide, but it's going to be from the perspective of Barnett already, because it's the lead central character of the book. So I think it's going to be from the perspective of an Indian.
Okay.
And that way too, it gets to Indian cinemas quickly.
Yeah.
In Punjabi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. You're asking on behalf of the NWELUE.
Thank you. Even though I'm just coming, Titi Kuti sent me the flyer and I saw how to speak Punjabi in Brampton. So first of all, I was expecting that this program will be holding in Brampton. So, but here we are in Toronto. So, so the question is, what is it about Brampton? Because I'm here on behalf of Brampton.
Okay.
So I need to know, and I should be able to take word back to the mayor that Brampton is extending to the side already.
Okay. So every city needs tourists, and the beauty about Brampton is that the buildings are so majestic. Tall buildings. You don't know which one is a temple or which one is somebody's home. Also, you could call it Little India now. Even most of the people who are in Brampton, it's difficult to speak English. They stick to the Indian language they come with. And I think it's a popular suburb. I think it's a popular place to write about. So the intention was to use the name of the city that is popular. And now Brampton is popular among Nigerians. Every Nigerian celebrity that comes goes to collect a certificate from the mayor. So tell the mayor I will expect mine. Oh, gracias. Thank you.
We have room for one more question.
So my question is, I think you mentioned earlier that you pretty much write a book like once a year or twice a year.
No, sometimes I publish 5 books a year.
Okay. So clearly you do not go through this writer's block, right? Did you experience that at all?
No. I can answer when you finish.
And do you have time to actually read other people's books?
Oh. Writer's block, no, because I have a medical condition where my brain runs faster than normal. So I use antipsychotic medications to slow my brain.
Oh.
Yeah, I use lithium carbonate and risperidone, prescribed by doctors. I was in psychiatry. So which I could wake up in the middle of the night with story in my head, and then every night, almost every night.
Wow.
Like I already have stories about Toronto I want to write again. So it's a medical condition that doesn't allow writer's block at all. Yeah. So sometimes I have anxiety as well. I just flip out from bed. Who wants to live with such person? And then yes, I read other authors' books because I have authors that I publish. So I have to also read their manuscripts. And I go out of my way to also buy books of authors who don't like me.
Oh.
Yeah, so I read it and then I ask myself, why don't they like me? Is it because they are better than me? So they are better than me, they write the perfect sentences, they have the patience to wait for a publisher to tell them that their book will be published in 2033 and all those, So I try to imagine myself in their shoes. How come they are this patient with the world? I was told I was going to die 10 years ago, but I'm still here. So when I was told I was going to die, I started writing like crazy. In case I die, there is something hanging on the bookshelf somewhere, and they won't forget me. So, but after 10 years, I'm still here, and I'm wondering when it will happen.
Well, I can tell you not anytime soon for sure. All right, one more question.
Hi, I'm Peter. Well, your book is about how to speak Punjabi in Brampton. So I'm just wondering, have you actually spoken Punjabi in Brampton? And if yes, how did it go? and secondly, you also mentioned something about a previous life. Do you believe in reincarnation? And does that ever materialize in some of the things that you write about?
Nice.
Very thought-provoking question.
I don't think he's talking. I think he wanted a definite answer. Yes, I went to tie my turban in a Punjabi shop in Brampton. So we spoke Hindi, Punjabi, and they were all excited watching me speak it. Yes, and thinking about Indians is if you speak their language, they love you more. That's what I think. And racism will disappear. Because they're no longer judging you based on your skin color. They know you can communicate with them. So language is a powerful tool for integration and love and all those things. And the second question is if I believe in reincarnation. Yes. My father died in 2022. Yes, 2022, August 14th. And by the next year, August 13th, my sister had a baby by CS. He was supposed to come 24th, I think, and he arrived on the 13th, which was the day before my father's memorial. And my mom lives with me in Mexico, so she talks to the boy over the phone, and she says it always feels like she's communicating with my father. The shape of his head, the haircut goes this way. His eyes, they are the same. And they named him after my father. And I've always believed in reincarnation because I reincarnated as my great-grandfather, right? And they say all the mannerisms and everything, that I have it. So it's not because they told me, but because I'm now seeing the reality in my nephew. Yeah, who my father hovers around in his body. Yes, so I believe in reincarnation.
This novel, besides me wanting it to be presented to the mayor personally, like a personal copy, is about to get plans for a movie adaptation of it, and I want it to be something that Brampton would absorb and take some level of credit for. Yeah, so I mean, there's the population of people in Brampton, largely 80% are Indians, and this is something that they will find exciting. So it will be something, it will be a cross-cultural phenomenon for Nigeria to be shooting a movie about Indians. That's the angle. So that's part of the world we are talking about today. Okay. One more question. All right, yes, go ahead.
First of all, I want to say congratulations on the book and also on the film that's coming out. What would your next book on Indians be about? Do you have one in mind? Yes. What is it going to be about?
Yeah, it's out in January. It's out in January. It's called The Mysterious Tea Shop in Palakkad. The Mysterious Tea Shop in Palakkad. Palakkad is in Kerala. It's a city in Kerala, south of India. I was in Kerala. I stayed in Kerala for 3 months when I was 21. I don't remember the year, but I was there and I thought I was in my own village in Otapalam. Otapalam is where their best-selling author, Ashamenon, comes from. So his brother came to visit his daughter in Nigeria who was working for JSK. And the daughter told the father, who is a film critic and a book critic, that there is a young Nigerian author who's written about India, the Abyssinian boy, and that they wanted me to come stay with them in Kerala. So they bought me a flight ticket and I went to India to stay with them. And every morning that I woke up, I saw my name on the front page of newspapers in Malayalam. I couldn't read it, but I would see my picture. So he was busy promoting me in the Indian literati. And I thought, how do I pay homage to him? So I wrote a book set in a tea shop where people of all calibers come to sit down and drink tea and tell the shop owner their stories. A nurse comes in and talks about how her day went at the hospital. A kidnapper comes in and talks about how he escaped being nabbed by the police. A doctor comes in and talks about his own problem. Then this guy who wants to go abroad comes to talk about how a travel agent duped him. So everybody comes into the tea shop to talk about their problems. It was so easy to write it because it's set in one place, and we go back to flashback all the time. But it's also a slimmer novel than this. And the reason being that I think people are scared of big books. I have a book, it's called Britain, a Slave Plantation. It's about 700 pages. And I don't think up to 5 people in Nigeria have read the book because it's voluminous. So now I'm interested in giving out small books, but with punchy stories and interesting storylines. So the next book is The Mysterious Tea Shop in Palakkad.
How to Speak Punjab in Brampton by ONYEKA and NWELUE. It's been an amazing launch. For one thing, I've always been somebody who encourages cultural integration, and for you to have a Nigerian writer that writes such a wonderful story about the Indian culture, it's amazing. I'm sure the Indians will be very excited to read this, and they would even be more excited to find out it was a Nigerian that went so deep to write something so accurate, so culturally accurate about different parts of India, South India, North India. Like I didn't even know any of those things until I read parts of this book, and I haven't even read more than the first 10 pages. So, looking forward to celebrating the mosaic of the multicultural country Canada is through books like this, and look out for the movie adaptation coming soon.
And for your thoughts towards Brampton. Hopefully, in celebration of Canada as a multicultural country and embracing our mosaic, this project will go a long way to foster the Indian, not just Nigerian, African relations, eventually when it comes to that. So, make that meeting happen. Our representative is mayor. He leaves town in 2 days. 3 days actually. His film is one of the 3 Nigerian films screening in TIFF. If you have time, you can come on Thursday too.
Yeah, we can do something tomorrow. Like the mayor is available.
Wonderful. So we'll talk about that once this is done. But thank you everyone for coming, and I hope you guys had a good time. I hope it was exciting. I hope you guys are started buying your book because everybody's living here without buying a book. We put the bouncer at the gate. It's very important for the books to be bought. Thank you so much. My name is Titi Kuti.
Good interview.
It's been a beautiful time. If you have pictures, just
Like Morrissey said. I'll give you my stamp.
Thank you. Perfect.
Let us read the book.
How to Speak Punjabi in Brampton. Nyo Sundu.
Onyeka Nwelue, author of the book that we launched today, How to Speak Punjabi in Brampton. It's a story of an Indian family in Brampton and their experience with the war. So I'm going to encourage everyone to go out, buy it, read it, because it's going to be made into a film. And you need to know if the film is better than the book. So please, buy this book now.
So, yes, it was nice. It was fun. First of all, I love the ambience. I love the space downtown, and I love the fact that it took time to read a couple of pages, like a chapter in the book. That was beautiful, and I like how it definitely came prepared with the all aesthetic, from the headgear, to the satin wrapper and everything. It really represented the Indians. I put. And I love how it was able to, answer the questions in regards to how it relates to Brampton, how it relates to the Indians, and of course, him being a Nigerian born, but raised, or should I say, had lived in India for a very long time. So it's coming from his own personal experience, not from someone else's experience of how it is in India or how to speak Punjabi. And of course, being in Canada for a couple of times, is able to correlate and put it all together in the book, and I think that's beautiful. So yes, get your copy. I just got mine, and follow on social media. Bye.